Okay, just wrapped up another weekly Christian Executive Coaching Zoom session. It's 90 minutes. I do them every Saturday. And the topic is dealing with passive-aggressive people at work. If you want access to it, become a member, $35 a year, and you can access the whole thing. Really great topic to discuss. It opened up a lot of situations with these Christian professionals all across the world. And we arrived at a place where they wanted to know a specific technique on what to do if you're working with someone who's passive-aggressive and how to handle it successfully. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be short, but it's going to be direct. So if you missed that and you want to know that quick process, just keep listening and you'll find out. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. I post 2 videos a week, so please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can be reminded when I do. Please also consider becoming a member at Motivationeer.com. Your membership really supports this channel. Thank you. I went into a lot of the detail about what passive-aggressive behavior is, where it tends to come from, some research articles about how it happens in business. So to get all of that information, please just go become a member and watch that video. But what I'm going to do for this one is just tell you these steps that work profoundly well. It's based on the idea of transactional analysis, which is a psychoanalytic communication model, which basically says there are 3 ego states: the parent ego state, the child ego state, and the adult ego state. The way it works is everybody assumes one of 3 roles when we're in a communication with someone else. If the person starts off with a negative ego state, let's say a child ego state, our temptation is to respond like a child or like a parent, which are both negative. The parent is kind of the overbearing, authoritative one. The child is the whining, complaining, pouting, withdrawing one. The same is true if someone starts a conversation off like a parent. They're being overbearing. They're being pushy, aggressive, etc. What we want to do, and by the way, passive-aggressive fits into the child ego state. When people are acting passive-aggressively, our tendency might be to act like a child and withdraw, pout, feel sorry for ourselves, or to really pounce on them. This is based off of how you score in the personality dimension of agreeableness. If you have a very low agreeableness score, you're going to want to pounce on them. If you have a high agreeableness score, your tendency is to respond pouting and withdrawing. What we want to do is respond like an adult. Here's the technique that you use. First thing, most importantly, we don't want to confront them immediately in front of everybody or immediately right after the thing happened, because we don't want them thinking we're policing their conversation. We don't say right after the meeting, hey, can you talk for a minute? That's just creepy. Wait a day or 2. Then go to them one-on-one with no one else around and say, hey, when we had that meeting the other day and you said this, what was it you were wanting to communicate? This gives them the opportunity to repent. And it's based off of the passage, a parable that Jesus talked about in Matthew chapter 21, verses 28 through 32. It's the story about the man who had 2 sons, told them both to go do some work. One of the sons said no, kind of felt bad about it, and then later went and did the work. The other one said, yes, I'll do it, and then didn't do it. Now, Jesus was kind of describing this as the Israelite nation saying, yes, yes, with their mouth, I'm righteous, God is my king, but they rejected Jesus. Whereas the Gentiles said, no, we want nothing to do with God. Jesus comes on, they repent, and now they get the glory of Christ. But Jesus was describing a passive-aggressive person in that second son. So when we go to that person one-on-one a day or 2 later and say what was it you were trying to communicate when you said this, we're giving them the opportunity to be the first son, to kind of realize, wow, yeah, that came out kind of bad, huh? Did I say that? Oh, I'm so sorry. Would have been a better way to say it. But sometimes that doesn't work, meaning they do want to stay in their passive-aggressive stance or take it even higher. Then you say to them, this isn't going to work very well for us. or something along the lines of, that's not going to be a very effective going forward. That way of communicating doesn't work well for me. We want to be careful we don't inject too much of I or me into it. We want to keep it at a business sense, but we want to communicate to them, listen, that's not going to work. We don't want to say, I don't like it. It hurt my feelings. How could you treat me? Keep our emotions out of it completely. Okay? Communicate, practice communicating before doing it. Something along the lines of, okay, when you communicate that way, it's not going to work. We don't want them continuing it. If then they escalate it even more, you've got a situation on your hands, and you can say calmly, not to beat them over the head, hey, listen, I think this is a good one to get a little bit of mediation with. And then you ask them, let's go talk to our manager together, or let's go talk to HR together. When you do that, let's say they agree, which is unlikely, but let's say they do, and you go to the manager's going to see that you're level-headed. You're detached from it. You're not letting it affect you emotionally, because you do want the production value of your team to stay high. And when someone's acting passive-aggressively, it's going to affect production. That's why you're taking it to the manager or HR, not to slap the person on the head or get them in trouble. It's to keep it focused on business output and growth. Another great way of keeping it from our emotions. Now, during this Zoom call, this executive coaching session I just finished, one of the people brought up a comment about how we would tell them, but shouldn't we say it really hurts me when you do that? So I asked in response, when they're acting passive-aggressive, is it bad or wrong? Everybody on the call said yes. The answer is no. We don't want to label it as bad or wrong. We want to look at it from the perspective of what it produces. And it's not going to produce the outcome they want. That's why we can go back to the Bible. The Greek word for sin is hamartia. It means missing the mark. God's not saying you're bad, you're wrong. He's saying you're in sin, you're missing the mark. That's what we're trying to communicate to our boss. This isn't going to work well. This is missing the mark for what we ultimately want to achieve with this team. It's a profound principle. We see it even in the Old Testament definition of sin, which I won't go into, okay? This is the process. Wait a day, day and a half, 2 days. Go to them, ask them what they meant to communicate. Give them a chance to repent, like the second son in Matthew, the parable. If they don't, then say, hey, look, that's not going to work very well. This isn't going to produce the outcomes that you're looking for. If they escalate even more, say, okay, look, I think it would be great. Clearly you're upset. Let's get a mediator. Take it to your manager or to your HR person. If then your manager and HR person don't want to deal with it, you have perhaps the groundwork for this might not be the right company for you. Maybe the whole company has a caustic, passive-aggressive culture. Okay? I know this is going to work out great for you, so when you do it, when you practice it, leave a comment below to let me know how it worked out for you. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation, and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.